Hello, my love. It is Colette with Rich Girls Inc., and we are creating rich. So, this is for people, maybe it's you, who they don't feel like they can be themselves, or they feel like they have to be a certain way in certain situations, or they feel like because they're a mom, they have to do this, or because they are a surfer, they have to do this, or because they are a hippie, they have to do this, or because they're an environmentalist, they have to do this. So, labels. People who feel like because they want to associate with a certain group or, be a certain way that they have to, follow some kind of rules that were set forth by some leader of these labels who defined what you had to be in order to fit in. And now you're feeling, inauthentic, or you're feeling like you maybe you don't even know who you are. So let's talk about that. And so one of the things that has helped me actually through my whole life is I never took on any labels. So I love to surf, but I would never say I'm a surfer. I love martial arts, but I would never say like, oh, I'm a martial artist. I'll joke that I'm a ninja because, I'm totally a ninja. But it's not because like I have to do this because this is what ninjas do, right? Or I'm a girl, so I can't do whatever. Like I can't fight, or I can't build things, or I can't do this. Like I've always just done what I wanted to do. So I took auto shop in high school because it's good to know how to fix a car if you get a flat tire. I mean, I have AAA, but, worst case scenario, I'm in the middle of nowhere. You need to know how to change your tire just in case, right? Little things like that. So, I took auto shop in high school. My grandpa would teach me how to like fix the toilet or fix the plumbing, like little things that ideally you'd have someone else do, but there's going to be maybe a time where there's no one else there to do it and it's just you and you got to do it, changing the doorknobs or whatever, like typical male jobs. Like I can do a lot of those things because no one ever said, oh, you're a girl, you can't do this, which I guess a lot of other people don't have that. So I was very blessed to grow up without labels and without having to label myself or having to be a certain way because I was this. So, so just get rid of all of these expectations that you've been told that you should or you have to do or, you have to be. Just let them all go. And, maybe you're like, oh, I can't do that, but you can. You're in charge of defining yourself. You don't have to use anyone else's labels except for your own. So one of the things that I did in college, actually, I was a psychology major, and so my freshman year, what they had us do is actually write out all of the labels that we had for ourselves. So all of the things that we took on, all of the things that we believed about ourselves. So, I'm female, I'm a big sister, I'm a daughter, I'm whatever, anything that you identified with. So you made this big list of all these things that you identified with, and then you asked yourself if it was true, or what behaviors did you take on because you identified with this label. And you really just start to question it all, and you're just like, wow, that's really cool. And then you can add the things that you want to be. So maybe you want to be healthy, right? And healthy is a very broad term. But maybe right now you're eating out fast food 5 times a week, right? So you have this discrepancy. You have this, it's called cognitive dissonance, where you want to do one thing, but you're not doing it, and so you're kind of fighting in your brain. So, so you can say, okay, well, I'm healthy, and then maybe you're not like where you want to be in health, but you can start to move towards it and become healthier and healthier. And so, you have to write out your definition of what that label means to you and then work your way there. So I've done that over the years, just learning about health food and water and how things affect my body. And so I stopped doing it. I didn't stop doing it all at once, But over the years of learning about health and learning about, how our bodies work and what they need, like, I've become healthier and healthier. So if you do take on a label, just define it how you want to define it and not how someone else thinks it should be or how you should be. And then another thing that I've done is just question everything. So I just, we take on all of these beliefs as true. And so what I told myself is, what if everything that I've ever learned was a lie? Okay, so just start from that place of, what if everything anyone has ever told you is a lie? Okay, well, now what do you do? How do you decide whether something is true or not? Right? Because, okay, well, this book says that this is true. Okay, well, who wrote the book? And how do we know that they're not wrong? Right? Because how many times has science or someone of credibility said, like, oh, this is the truth? And then the opposite, like smoking. Smoking cigarettes was supposed to be like a good thing for you 60, 70 years ago, and then it turns out it causes cancer. So, we get all these conflicting information from different sources. So how do you even decide if something's true or not? And so, you rely on experts or people with knowledge, quote unquote, but that doesn't mean that they're the end-all be-all and that they're totally right. I mean, they're right from what their perspective is. So you can kind of start blowing your own mind when you start to come from this place of, well, what if everything anyone has ever told me is a lie? And what if everything's wrong? So how do you figure out the truth? Well, you have to look at both sides of every situation. So Tai Lopez, one of his things, he's an awesome person if you have never heard of him, but one of the things that he says is, you have to know the opposite side of the argument as well as, or even better than the side that you believe in. And that's how you're going to know whether something is true or not. So if you're taking on a label and you're like, this is what I am, this is what I believe, then to be able to argue your point, you better know the opposite side just as well, so that you know what the argument is and can make an unbiased judgment on truth. So questioning everything is huge for getting rid of labels and for just letting go, and just basically you got to start all over again every day and just questioning things and not just taking things just because, like, oh, well, this person, read a lot of books about this thing, or this person is a scientist, so they're right, so I'm going to just believe what they say. I have to question everything and be able to see both sides of everything to know the truth and to know the truth of you and who you actually want to be in this world. So questioning everything is like huge when it comes to labels and making your own judgments and your own calls about what you're going to believe based on having factual knowledge from all sides. And I had one more for you guys. So, man, what was it? I forgot now. All right, well, I think that's a good start anyway. So just, writing out everything that you believe about yourself and then questioning it, everything, and just letting go. And it's at the end of the day, it's up to you to decide who and what you are and how you want to be. And to show up authentically is your choice. So it's totally up to you to show who you are to the world. And if you're hiding parts of you, then it's probably because you don't feel safe being yourself. Because like I said, I've been there before, where I was worried about what people thought about me. I was even though I tell myself I wasn't, like, I clearly was if I didn't feel like I could be totally me. So the parts that I was hiding were the parts that I was uncomfortable with and that I was judging. And because I was judging them, I felt like other people were judging them. And so then I felt like I had to hide them. And when I became comfortable with those parts of me that I was trying to hide, And I forgave myself and I loved myself. And I said, you know what? I'm not perfect, but that's okay. And just loving those parts of me that I was trying to hide, and it made me able to show up authentically and not worry about like how I should be because I was this thing, you know. So if you have any questions, let me know. You can email me, Colette at Rich Girls Inc., or you can find me in my Facebook group, and I'll put a link below. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Create rich, manifest powerful.